Good spooky evening to you everyone, and welcome to another creepypasta video. Now, just as with the previous one, we'll be delving into a game, in this video specifically Minecraft, and looking at a creepypasta which was in fact not created by me, but was instead posted by the user Totally Not Yamcha on minecraft.creepypasta.fandom.com. Now, because this apparently wasn't clear in the previous video, this being a creepypasta obviously means that the story is presumed to be fake and has only been written for entertainment purposes. If you want to read the story yourself, which I highly encourage you to do, the links to both the creator and the story itself will be down in the description below where you can check them out. So without any further ado, get your hot cocoa, snuggle up in your blanket, and let's go. I experienced a strange series of events only a few days ago. See, I have a habit of playing on all Minecraft versions, from all the release versions all the way back to alpha. For a while now, I've been enjoying my time in the beta 1.7.2 version, you know, the old piston duplication glitch, the incredible green grass everywhere, and the old textures, that sort of stuff. To me it's relaxing and I like spending time in those old versions, but I really think it might be a while before I do that again. I was playing early in the morning. It must have been around 4 AM. Seems like a rather cliche time for something scary to happen, but bear with me. See, I was wandering about my world, venturing through the islands I had conquered, before I decided to craft a boat and go out sailing into this large bay I had resided in for the entire time I've had this world. I had barely sailed for a minute before I spotted odd terrain generation. It seemed old, like it had been generated in an alpha version or an early beta version. The grass that had been everywhere around my house was non-existent, and the ground was a dead color. I thought this strange, but kept sailing, thinking it was a biome I simply didn't know was in the beta at that time. But not even 30 seconds later, I saw on the horizon a small peninsula jutting out from the dead land. I couldn't make out what was on it until I got a bit closer and the fog cleared. It was torches. I knew I was generating new chunks, but there were torches sporadically placed on the land. I was curious and sailed towards that peninsula. Once I arrived, I slowed down in order to preserve my boat, which ended up floating away anyway when I stepped off it. I put my feet on the grass and saw something I had not expected. A hole in the hill. It was a house, patched up with cobblestone, lacking a door or extra amenities. It was a very cramped space, for sure, with a 2-block high ceiling and a single torch on the wall. I was confused, yet intrigued at the sight of this house in the rocks. At the end of the home, there was a mine leading down into the earth. It almost seemed exactly like a player had created this, but then the world was never multiplayer, and these chunks were loaded fresh, as far as I know. After thinking for a while, I started to become a bit uncomfortable. Despite that, I decided to venture into the mine anyway. I couldn't see a name tag or a sign of a player, so I knew I'd be fine. The stairway down led into a cave system filled with cobblestone bridges across gaps and holes where ores had been mined. It was everything you'd expect from a normal mine. After looking around for a minute or two, I decided I wanted to head back to my home before I got lost. As I was exiting the mine, the day was waning and darkness approached over the horizon. I sailed back home, slept the night away, and logged off to do some homework I had been waiting on finishing. I wish that was the last time I would open that world. Around 2 hours later, at around 6:30 AM, I logged back into the game. By this point, I was still thinking about my weird findings, but didn't think much of it. For about half an hour or so, I duplicated iron blocks and built a tower that was supposed to be a mob grinder, and I was watching some YouTube videos while absent-mindedly digging up duplicated iron blocks when I noticed all of my wheat at my farm in the distance had been broken, and some dirt and grass were placed in a few spots where the land was tiled. I had sworn that I placed wheat there a few hours prior, and I hadn't touched it since, so I went to check it out, and came to the conclusion that the animals around the area must have stomped it away, and that the wheat had despawned, as that was the best explanation I could come up with at the time. I went back to mining iron blocks, but a few minutes later, when I went back to the building to resume its construction, 4 blocks had been broken in one of the corners. I was getting weirded out now, as there had been no creeper explosion there and endermen weren't even in the game yet, I just thought I had mined those 4 blocks before, and my sleep deprivation had just fuzzed my memory slightly, but it didn't really alleviate the uneasy feeling. I really should have just taken the hints and deleted the world right then, but I did not. I continued playing for another hour without anything weird happening, when my brain suddenly clicked into gear, and I thought that the weird house I had seen earlier must have something to do with this. Some sort of world merge maybe? Perhaps a hacker? I don't know. I traveled to the cobblestone house again, this time by land, and was greeted by the familiar sporadic torches and the hole in the hill where the house was. But then, there was the thing that really unsettled me. The house now had an iron door, and there was someone outside placing a button beside it. I stood stunned for a moment. I didn't think that could happen. I thought my sleep deprivation must have been playing tricks on me, making me hallucinate. I was going to believe it until a player's head turned and looked at me. I immediately alt F4'd game and quit out. But there was one thing I managed to do before that, and that was to take this screenshot. Directly after closing the world, I opened Photoshop and examined it closely to see if I wasn't just hallucinating. Whatever this is, it's not a player. No name tag, no movements, and its shape is ghastly. It's almost like a ghost. I know I'm definitely not playing beta again soon. And that was the Ghost Player creepypasta by the user Totally Not Yamcha. So I hope you guys found the video interesting and hopefully weren't too spooked by these unnatural occurrences from the world of Minecraft. If you liked the video, maybe consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. All of those would be very much appreciated, and I definitely want to cover more creepypastas in the future. Make sure you show your support to the creator of the creepypasta and give it a read yourself, as that sometimes gives a better effect than hearing someone else read it. If there's a particular creepypasta or a particular game that you would like me to cover, make sure to leave that down in the comments as well. And with that, I'm gonna wish you a beautiful rest of today, and I'll see you in whatever next video I make. Bye bye.